They are sleek, powerful, and unmistakable. A dog that looks as though it was engineered for a single purpose: to be the perfect guardian. In many ways it was. The Doberman Pinscher is one of the only breeds in history that can be traced to a single man, a single moment, and a single intention. This is the story of how one dog changed everything. It's the 1880s in Apolda, a small town in Germany. Carl Friedrich Louis Doberman holds one of the least enviable jobs imaginable: tax collector. In an era before law enforcement escorts, he travels door to door collecting money from people who don't want to give it, through neighborhoods that aren't particularly safe. He needs a dog to help him, fast. But he needs something fearless, loyal, alert, and intimidating enough to make people think twice before anything bad happens. Doberman happens to have an unusual advantage. He also runs the local dog pound. That gives him access to an enormous variety of breeds and, crucially, the knowledge of what makes each of them tick. Over the following years, he begins selectively breeding dogs with a very specific vision in mind. He wants the perfect protection animal: intelligent, fast, enduring, loyal, and built for threat. He calls them his dogs. The world would eventually call them Dobermans. The precise recipe Doberman used remains one of the great debates in canine history because he kept no formal records. But through historical analysis and breed study, experts have pieced together a likely combination of contributors. The foundation is widely believed to be the old German Shepherd, not the modern variety, but a now extinct herding type common to Germany at the time. To this, Doberman is thought to have added the Rottweiler for its strength, loyalty, and working drive. The Black and Tan Terrier, a now extinct English breed, likely contributed the dark coat, the lean build, and the sharpness of temperament. The German Pinscher added agility and tenacity. Some historians also point to contributions from the Greyhound or Weimaraner for speed and elegant structure, and possibly the Beaucheron, a French herding breed with a remarkably similar appearance, for overall conformation and intelligence. The result was extraordinary. A dog with the speed of a sighthound, the strength of a working dog, the intelligence of a herder, and the nerve of a terrier, wrapped in a coat as dark as a shadow. Carl Doberman died in 1894. He never lived to see what his creation would become. Shortly after, the breed was named in his honor, and German breeders, most notably Otto Goerler, took up the work of refining and standardizing it. The Doberman's abilities didn't stay in the tax districts of Thuringia for long. By the early 20th century, the breed had become the German police dog of choice, deployed for its tracking ability, obedience, and physical presence. German police forces used them extensively in the years before and during the First World War, where the breed also saw military service as messenger dogs, guard dogs, and sentries along the front lines. But it was the Second World War where the Doberman truly wrote itself into history, and none more dramatically than in the Pacific Theater with the United States Marine Corps. The Marines formally adopted the Doberman as their official war dog during World War II. A unit of Dobermans known as the Devil Dogs served with the 1st Marine War Dog Platoon during the assault on Guam in 1944. These dogs were deployed ahead of ground forces to detect enemy soldiers hidden in the island's dense jungle terrain, a task no technology of the era could replicate. 25 Dobermans died in the battle for Guam. All 25 are honored by a bronze statue that stands on the island to this day, bearing the inscription, "Always Faithful." The breed also served in the European theater, used by both Allied and Axis forces for patrol, detection, and communications work. After the war, the Doberman continued its role in law enforcement. Police departments across the United States, Europe, and beyond adopted the breed through the mid-20th century for patrol, personal protection, drug detection, and crowd management. Their speed, capable of reaching around 30 miles per hour, their trainability, and their instinctive alertness to threat made them enormously effective working partners. As the decades passed, something began to shift in Doberman breeding. particularly in America. Two distinct lines emerged. The European Doberman, bred according to the standards of the Doberman Verein in Germany, maintained working drive, physical robustness, and a sharper, more reactive temperament. These dogs are still regularly tested in protection sports like Schutzhund, and breeding without working titles is frowned upon in serious European lines. The American Doberman Pinscher, by contrast, was progressively refined toward the show ring and the family home. Breeders selected for a leaner, more elegant silhouette, a slightly more refined head, and a calmer, more even temperament. The result is a dog that looks almost like a different animal standing next to its European counterpart, taller, lighter, with a narrower chest, and a gentler default demeanor. Neither line is superior. They are simply bred for different purposes. But the divergence illustrates how dramatically human intention can reshape a breed across just a few generations. One shadow that has fallen over both lines is health. The modern Doberman carries a troubling genetic burden. Dilated cardiomyopathy, a degenerative heart condition, affects an estimated 50 to 60% of all Dobermans at some stage of their life. Von Willebrand's disease, a clotting disorder, is also prevalent. Cervical vertebral instability, sometimes called wobbler syndrome, causes neurological problems in a meaningful portion of the breed. Responsible breeders screen for these conditions, but they remain serious concerns that any prospective owner should understand. Few dogs carry as complicated a public image as the Doberman. Decades of film and television cast them as savage attack animals, loyal only to villains and military commanders. The reality is rather different. Breed standards describe the Doberman as energetic, watchful, determined, alert, fearless, loyal, and obedient. They are exceptionally bonded to their families, often to a single person above all, and are naturally protective without being indiscriminately aggressive. A well-bred, well-socialized Doberman is not looking for a fight. It is watching for a threat. They are sensitive dogs, deeply affected by their environment and their relationship with their handler. They do not tolerate neglect or isolation well. They need mental stimulation, physical exercise, and meaningful engagement with their people. Boredom in a Doberman is an invitation to chaos. From the tax-collecting streets of a small German town to the jungles of Guam, from the police forces of 3 continents to the living rooms of suburban families, the Doberman has been many things to many people. Guard, soldier, partner, companion. What ties all those roles together is the same quality Carl Doberman was looking for in those Thuringian streets over a century ago. A dog that is completely present, completely committed, and completely devoted to the person beside it. That, more than anything, is what the Doberman is. I'd just like to give a shout out to the keen and knowledgeable Doberman owners who have kindly let me use their images and videos for this video, listed in the description below. Give them a follow to see more of this amazing breed. If you have any other requests for future videos, let me know in the comments below. See you soon.